Bernard is 75 years old. He just signed a contract that has him paying for solar panels until he's 107. And by the time he finishes, the panels and probably the roof are going to be long gone. And the way families are reacting to this whole solar-free thing is where this whole thing starts feeling really strange. I mean, picture the kitchen table after dinner. A dad walks in, his chest out like he just solved the family's money problems forever. And he's basically saying something like, honey, we're getting free electricity. Then the mom sits down later with the actual papers. She doesn't yell. She just gets quiet. It's that specific kind of quiet that happens when you realize the cheap version of normal just quietly walked out the back door. And right now, households, they don't just feel broke, but they feel cornered. I mean, one guy's friend financed $40,000 in panels. And his wife watched month after month as the budget got tighter. And eventually she packed her things and left. Now, I'm sure there were other problems involved, but what happened is it became something other than just a money conversation. It was a conversation that was basically saying, hey, I can't watch you turn our roof into another bill that will never escape. And it doesn't stop with marriage pressure. The weight often carries forward into the next chapter of a family's life. Another family took over their dad's house after he passed. They inherited about $80,000 of solar panels, saving them $20 a month. $20. Yet, they're still writing a $330 check every single month. And you sit there with the math, and it lands really heavy. I mean, your own house decided to run a side business that only loses money. And this is the same pressure that has quietly changed what home improvement even means. I mean, you remember when it meant painting a room or building a deck with the kids on a Saturday? Now it means signing papers that put a lien on your own roof. And something that also follows you long after the excitement of it's all gone. I mean, remember the salesman? I mean, he stood there so confidently. He says, sir, this is government backed. It's practically free. Your bill's going to disappear. Then the 40-page contract shows up with your electronic signature already on it. The payments start coming whether the panels work or not. I mean, one woman thought her $120 payment was for about 3 years. Turns out it was closer to 20. And she described herself sitting there reading the fine print and feeling that slow, sinking realization hit that the cheap version of life disappeared first. And that same realization, it spreads beyond just a monthly bill. At dinner tables right now, families aren't just asking, can we afford solar? They're asking, if we do this, what else quietly disappears for the next decade? Will it be the weekend trip to the lake? The new tires before winter? Is it going to be fixing that leaky faucet that's been annoying everybody? I mean, one by one, the small things that kept life feeling manageable start getting crossed off. But the most expensive part of this contract is not the monthly payment. It's what happens when you decide to actually sell your house, which we'll look at in just a moment. But buyers are pulling offers the moment they see solar on them right now. They see a solar lien and they pull the offer right off the table. And they say, no thanks. I don't want to inherit somebody else's long-term mistake. So homeowners who need to sell find themselves stuck. I mean, one guy had to bring a $34,000 check to the closing table just to make the panels go away. And then he said how physically ill he felt writing that check. And that moment when the decision you thought would help you get ahead is now the thing that's holding you back, it's painful. And if selling is one trap, then the roof itself for sure is another. I mean, they drill holes into the roofs. They stop paying. If you stop paying for any reason, they come and take the panels, leaving the damage behind. There was one owner who inherited the lease, had to remove everything for roof repairs, and watched the cost climb while the system still didn't do what it was promised. Now, the house that was supposed to give relief just created a whole new set of problems. And this pattern, it keeps repeating because the economics look very different depending on where you are. And if you think this is just how solar costs, look across the ocean. I mean, there are people from Europe sounding genuinely confused by what we're going through over here. I mean, they have full systems for $7,000 to $8,000. They get to pay it back in around 8 years. There's no giant loan needed. But here in the United States, families are financing $30,000, $40,000, even $90,000 on homes that cost far less. It's not the sun that got more expensive. It's the sales machine built on top of it. There was a salesman, an ex-salesman, and he laid it out clearly. And it helps explain why this keeps happening. Because the industry had a Wolf of Wall Street energy, it turns out. Companies pushing hard, reps saying, hey, I'm just here to help, while chasing commissions. And the whole pitch is designed to make the monthly number sound so small, your brain forgets about the 20-year total. They keep saying it's only $120 a month until that payment starts replacing birthdays, holidays, and any breathing room you had left. Then there's another layer that catches people completely off guard. I mean, some families aren't even buying the panels outright. They're leasing them. And then the company goes bankrupt, like SunPower. They keep collecting payments and they stop fixing anything at all. One woman took over a lease thinking it was a responsible move. Now she's calling people who aren't there anymore while her electric bill stays higher than they promised. The thing sold as relief became another ongoing tension in the house. And you start noticing the everyday shifts that come with all of this. I mean, lights turned off a little earlier than before. Maybe we skipped the trip this year. Quiet conversations at night about whether they should have just kept paying the regular electric bill. I mean, for most families, this wasn't about a big environmental idea. It was just about trying to be responsible and get ahead and do the smart thing for the long run. The system took that hope and turned it into a payment plan, attached it to the one place that was supposed to feel safe. And now people aren't budgeting anymore. They're just rationing normalcy. And that pressure, it just builds in ways that we don't always see right away. That excitement of lower bills, it fades fast. And what stays is the weight of the contract and the growing feeling that your home is no longer just your home. Now, it's tied to a decision that keeps taking more than it actually gives.